Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're listening in the world. It is Football-Oranje, your home of Dutch football in English language. The three of us back. We're discussing the Germany against Netherlands game. A 2-1 defeat tonight after beating Scotland 4-0 with a bit of a disappointing performance, but a great scoreline. Tonight we had a better performance, but lost this time. Not a massively disappointing evening, I don't think. You guys, what did you both think?
Losing to Germany away in a friendly match is something expected. You could always lose to Germany, especially in a friendly where you try some players. I think we learned a lot from this match. We made some mistakes, but there are some bright sides to mention also. Of course, it's always painful to lose, even if it's in a friendly match in the last few minutes of the match. But in general, I think we did better than the match against Scotland. Indeed, the defense specifically was much better than the defense against Scotland.
Yeah, I think it was an improved performance, but I think that it was a stronger lineup from him tonight. The formation I think suits the Netherlands in bigger games, and I think it showed that having five at the back, Dumfries right wing back, I think performed strongly. They kept the ball better. They won the ball quite a lot from high up, which Scotland were doing against the Netherlands the other day, but Netherlands were doing it to Germany at the start of the game. I thought second half, first 20, 25 minutes of that second half, Netherlands were by far the better side. Should have taken a couple of their chances, then could have went on and won the game. But I think we'll get on to it eventually. But I think the loss for me is down to Koeman, because I think his substitutions really killed the Netherlands. I think he took out all the pace that the Netherlands had by bringing on Weghorst and Gakpo, and they were just completely overrun. And Timber and De Roon in midfield, it didn't help. Whereas he could have brought on a bit more dynamic players, a bit of pace, especially somebody like Frimpong on for Blind, maybe on the left-hand side. He brought Xavi Simons on too late. I thought, if he came on 5-10 minutes earlier, he might have made a bit of a difference more. But yeah, I think that an improved performance, but still some mistakes and errors that just make you a little bit frustrated that you come away with a defeat when the performance didn't really merit it.
Yeah, 100%. And the most pleasing thing for me was the flexibility now to go between a 4-3-3 and a 5-3-2, and now adapt it for whatever position we need. And that's something we were looking for quite a while. The formation needs to suit whoever we're playing. And for a little bit over recent history, it's like we'll play five at the back no matter what, no matter who the opponent is. But now we've got both in the bank and can pull it out. So tonight, a 5-2-1-2 it was this evening. That was just right for what the Netherlands needed. I thought Memphis played very well. Of course, missed the chances, but still getting better and better. Really great signs ahead of June and getting some more friendlies again in him once he's had some more club football and he's ready for the Euros. I will bring in a few live comments and then I'll sort of open the floor to the two of you, the things you want to discuss. Dan was the first live comment this evening saying, disappointing result, much better performance than against Scotland. Verbruggen was man of the match. Definitely agree with that. And I would say he's man of the match this evening. Possibly that was the one that did it for him to be cemented as the number one choice for the competition. That might have been enough. I think that Verbruggen's a great shot stopper. He's proved that again tonight. Great penalty saver. But what else can he do? Has he got that command of the area? Well, tonight he was needed for big saves. And to be fair, from the Germany second goal, I know it went in, but it would have been a very good save had it been like another, 2 centimeters in front of a line. So it was that close. A few more comments. Better showing tonight. Too many wayward passes and missed chances. And the team played well. Just need to be more clinical and kill the game without missed chances next time. I'd rather lose a friendly now than later win the Euros. So there are more that were in. For example, John was praising the 5-3-2, talking about players that were missing. So still missing Young, Hartman, Van der Ven, in the possible back four. Brobby, of course, as well. Still really excited to see him. We will put some more comments on. Thank you so much for your love comments. Keep them coming in. We'll put them on throughout the show. And if you're not watching live, of course, as usual, leave a comment on YouTube. We'll get back to you. We enjoy reading them and respond to you as best we can. And as usual, the viewing stats are going up all the time. So keep listening and watching our live streams. If you're enjoying them, give a like and comment down below, because, of course, it helps the algorithm, helps us get more viewers for next time. So both of you, what do you want to start with to go in particular?
Well, about the first guy, the first comment about Verbruggen, he's definitely man of the match. He made some saves that I could not believe my eyes for a minute. He made those saves, especially the last one before the second goal came. There was a save. He really did a good job in it. Even the second goal, he was unlucky with it. He almost saved it. So he's definitely man of the match. And I think Koeman will stick to Verbruggen as a starter if he continues with this level of football. And I did not like the over-defending some parts of the match, especially after the first goal. We were completely over-defending. We did not even create anything until the equalizer came by Germany. I think that was too early to over-defend like that, This is one of the mistakes also I like to mention. There are so many other things about the individuals, but I will give chance to Mike to talk about them.
Yeah, I think that everyone's got off to the perfect start because they pressed high up the pitch, got the ball, scored a brilliant goal. It was a brilliant volley from Veerman. It was a really, really brilliant finish. But yeah, as Abdul said, they then sat back, and even though they sat back, they didn't really even put a challenge in. They seemed to just be allowing. They were just chasing shadows for about 10-15 minutes until Germany actually scored the goal. And to be fair, it was a brilliant goal. I mean, there's nothing Verbruggen could have done about it, so you can't really blame him for that. But yeah, I think that they defended too deeply, and it wasn't until they started towards the end of the first half they actually got a grip on the game and then improved in the second half. But yeah, I think that for a good 20-minute period they were chasing shadows, and I think that was a bit of a shame because I think that they gave Germany a bit too much credit for being the team that they were. And yeah, and for me, I thought the midfield actually did okay as the game went on. I think that Schouten did really well. I think that he picked up the ball, and especially in the second half, I think he made a number of interceptions. Joey Veerman was good with his passing, but I do agree that some of it was sloppy, and he is a bit slow on the turn sometimes. If he doesn't have a lot of space, if he gets closed down very quickly, he struggles to get the ball out. He's not the quickest of midfielders, but I think he did okay in there. Reinders, I think, was invisible. I don't think they really got him into the game.
Do you think that's his position, though, because he was playing higher up?
Yeah, I don't think he suits being in that advanced midfielder role. He got one chance in the second half and he blinked it over, but I think that when he played so well against Scotland, to then move him in a different position, to then see him just out of the game was a bit of a mistake. And yeah, I would like to see maybe come and drop him deeper, maybe push Veerman forward a bit more. But yeah, I can't really grumble with the midfield too much because I think it was an improved performance on what we got against Scotland. I think that Schouten was a step up from Wiefer, and Veerman did well in place of Xavi Simons, coming for him. But yeah,
if you allow me, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, for me, I don't know what really Koeman learned from this. If he thinks Wijnaldum played really well against Scotland, what did he learn from tonight when the midfield did okay? Is Schouten now guaranteed to be on the plane to the Euros? I don't really know. And Timber, when Timber came on, I don't think he really put himself forward in a positive light either. So it's going to be interesting the next few months, especially with Koop Meiners not getting his chance this international period, to see who Koeman actually eventually goes with in that midfield, because there's a lot of options. And I don't know if there's that many that have really cemented their place over these two games.
I feel like you've got De Jong and De Jong was replaced by Schouten this evening, and then you've got Veerman next to him. So could it be that we see De Jong and Veerman, De Jong and Reinders then maybe Viva's plays under threat after his performance against Scotland. Maybe Wijnaldum isn't as fancied by Koeman. Not really getting much game time tonight. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Wijnaldum was the least player to touch the ball in the match against Scotland. The least player from both teams to touch the ball. I don't think he should be an option, really. Maybe Koeman already knows that. Speaking about some players, of course, Depay. I'm really happy to see him in this level. He developed big time, even better than a few years ago, in my opinion. Today, he was a serious threat with Malen as well. Malen also developed big time. Once they were substituted, the team was completely destroyed up front. We could not create anything. Simmons brought some threat maybe when he came in, but it was late for him to do anything. But he had some good touches. I was surprised why Koeman was too late to make substitutions. His first substitution was in the 66th minute, and then he did not make any substitutions until the 75th minute. I think that was too much. He saw how the defense was taking all the burden, was taking all the threat, and they were really fighting the trio, De Ligt, Van Dijk, and Nathan Ake. He should have made substitutions before the 75th minute. Of course, about Reinders, yes, today he was invisible, and I think this is another mistake. Koeman substituted him very late, and he saw that from the first half. He was completely lost in that position. And of course, Blind, I'm sure everybody's not happy with his performance. Germany targeted Blind almost the entire match. Most of the threats were coming from his side, and that's a big problem. So I don't know if Koeman learned that Blind doesn't work to be a left back.
I just don't see Blind getting taken out of the squad. Did you just play tonight because Hartman wasn't ready and he's the second choice? I just can't understand with Martin doing so well at Dortmund why this is okay. I don't know if people in the comments are agreeing, by the way. I could bring up several here. This is the first one here. I was saying the pitch was bad. So was Kim's lineup and tactics. Disagree there a little. But Blintz, yeah, it wasn't the first time it was mentioned. People bringing him up again, and understandably so. Why is he suddenly played the game this evening? Where's this come from? Why is he back?
Yeah, for me, it frustrates me because I feel like he creates a divide with some fans, live, tweeting out the match on X, and Button took that free kick in the second half that was right on the edge of the box, and he boned it a mile over the bar, and you're like, why was he taking it? And then you get fans coming on being like, oh, you just hate Blind. He's much better than what you say he is. He's a really good passer of the ball. He crosses so well. You can't take him out because of his set pieces. But where was the set pieces today that actually did something? His free kick went over the bar. He got skinned defensively, left, right, and centre. Nathan Ake had to basically do the job of two players at times because he was covering the left back and covering the centre as well. I thought Nathan Ake actually had a really, really good game when you consider the fact that he had to cover Blind constantly. It seemed that at some points when the Netherlands was in possession, they went to like a back three, and Blind sort of went central into the midfield, and he just didn't contribute anything for me. And I think that if you had, towards the end of the game, somebody that had a bit of pace, like Matson, or even just putting Frimpong there just to run at Germany for the last 10, 15 minutes, would have had such a bigger impact than just allowing somebody just to sit there and maybe pull out one pass in the game. It's beggars belief. And you're looking at that bench second half going, he's already on a yellow card. He's getting skinned left, right, and centre. They're targeting him. And there's not a left back on the bench because Koeman, for some reason, didn't decide to call it Matson. It's incredible for me. We've only got a few months left of it because this is going to be his last tournament. And then eventually that'll be the end of Blind. But you just, at the moment, you just think that he's going to end up starting at the Euros as well. He's going to end up starting in a key game in a back five at the European Championships. And it's going to be costly because he isn't the level of the rest of that defence. He just isn't.
Well, Koeman could have let Geert comes in and put Nathan Ake as a left back if Hartman is injured. You don't have to depend on Blind, that was supposed to be the option, really. Geert in, Nathan Ake left back.
I'm just not a fan of putting Ake at left wing back.
If you have to, I mean, since Hartman is injured,
Yeah. Yeah, and Ake will go into the squad as those 2 or 3 positions, I think, won't he? With that backup option in the fullback position, but also that left-sided centre back. But then Van der Ven comes back, and maybe Ake plays. I don't know, just not Van der Ven at left wing back.
That could be an option, yes.
Some more comments to bring them in. So Michael said, clear as day that we need De Jong back in midfield, and I think the reason for that as well is what somebody else said about we were playing a lot sometimes over the top too much rather than trying to play for the lines. And De Jong is a massive factor in that. He is someone that can help with those moves.
The only thing I'd say about that is there was a few times where the ball over to Mal and over the top was on. So if he got it right, it would have worked. Because I think Malin had the beating of that defence pace-wise. It's just that sometimes the pass wasn't good enough over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Germany trying to catch us out with the same thing, weren't they?
Yep. Well, a team like Germany attacks, and when a team attacks you like this, you should leave some fast players up front. That's why Weghorst coming in killed the match. Weghorst can be used against a team that is over defending against Oranje, not a team that attacks and leaves many spaces in the back.
Some more comments. Some are getting a bit controversial. Let's have a little look. Got here, the players are good enough, the coach and his tactics aren't. Got what a waste friendlies. What were Koeman's conclusions? Chris, though, said Frimpong at left wing back would have been a much better option than Blint. I think that might have been in response to what we were saying. We had 3-5-2, doesn't work. We were horrible. Defending for our lives, outplayed. What is our obsession with the 3-5-2? Blint is trash. And our midfield was outclassed.
We were not really that bad, I mean, we were not bad. Some options were bad, maybe, but I think we played a good game as long as you have so many chances. I mean, you can always lose to Germany. If you lose 2-1 when you waste so many chances, this is football. You lose sometimes.
Yeah, this is a Germany side who just went to France and won 2-0. So
yes.
I think we need to have a bit of credit. This Germany side is a good side. And they've got somebody like Toni Kroos in the middle who, again, I think he ended the game today with like 96% pass accuracy. When you allow him the ball, he just dominates it. And I think that you had basically an Eredivisie midfield of Schouten and Veerman who went up against Toni Kroos. And I think they battled well. I think it was pretty much even, and Netherlands actually were on top for a big chunk of the game. So I do think that 3-5-2 does work. It's just a few players that are missing in there, and you're talking about 5-6 players that are missing from the squad. Koopmeiners would have been in there tonight if he was fit.
Yes.
Hartman would have been in there. De Jong would have been in there. Robbie would have been up front instead of having to bring on Weghorst. So Bergwijn as well might have came on and added some pace towards the end. So there's options that are missing here that Noah Lang, these ones would have changed the game in our favour if they were on the bench. I actually thought looking at them, Netherlands' bench was actually stronger than the German one. It's just I don't think it was used right by Koeman.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, some more comments. We had from Mark here that disappointing loss. Second half was better. There were a few good chances from Oranje. There was Depay and another one. We had... It was Marlon. We had here comments saying that Blint's too slow and a liability for Ake. And some others too. Yeah. Thank everyone for your comments. Keep them coming if you would like to get them before the end of the show. I think the main takeaways from tonight were that I do have an obsession with the 5 at the back, to be fair. I do like it. I do think it works. And going to tournament is going to be very useful against some of these top sides. I believe that Wales Poland is still playing right now, so we still don't know quite who's going to be that extra team in the group. But We're going into it. We've got France. We're going to have to play like that. We're going to have to meet some teams in the later rounds where 5-3-2 is important. How do you rate Koeman as a whole then over this international break? Do you think he's had a decent time of it, getting his tactics right? I mean, the incident that sticks in my head is he's played Wijnaldum, he's played Blind, and Dave has just literally come in and said, "Surprised Babel wasn't back." That's how it feels a little bit. So yeah, there's that side of it, but then also he has switched to tactics. He has been playing some different players. He's played Frimpong, for example. So it's not. I don't think he's done too terribly here, and it's making me feel optimistic ahead of the Euros, but it's also not making me get carried away. As I don't think he's done much special. I don't think he's gone and go, wow. I think he's relied mostly upon the individual quality of some of these players, relying upon Memphis to be back to his best, Marlon's pace. What do you two think?
Well, okay. I'm just checking the substitution line. He didn't really have many options, so maybe I don't blame him for that. We just have so many injuries. But as I mentioned at the beginning, the only problem I saw with Koeman in this match specifically, he was too late for the substitutions. Blind almost played for 90 minutes. He was substituted in the 89th minute. What was the point? I mean, he saw what Germany is doing. He saw how they were targeting Blind most of the match. I think this is the only thing that I can hold against Koeman in this match. Other than that, with the quality of players we have, with so many injuries, I still have faith in him, really.
Yeah, I think that if I look at the two games as a whole, the only thing I would criticise him for is the substitutions in this game. And I'd like to ask him why, if he's going to play a 5-3-2 against Germany, why he didn't play probably the best right wing back in the world at the moment as a wing back in a 5-3-2, and instead tried to play him in some sort of weird right winger / right back against Scotland in a 4-3-3. I think Frimpong can be a bit annoyed this international break that everyone wanted to see him play in a 5-3-2, and when they did see him play, it was in a 4-3-3 where Koeman lied and said he was a right winger when he just.
But he wasn't, was he?
Yeah. So I think that everyone could see that Dumfries had a strong game today, and Dumfries usually does have a good game at right wing back. Yeah. But I think everyone wanted to see what Frimpong could have done if he came on with, say, 20 minutes to go, and it just didn't happen. I think that he would have been a game changer. When you have a player that's one of the best in his position in the whole world, you're not even going to try him out. It's a bit frustrating. I would say Koeman really needs to. I would want him to explain why he didn't give Frimpong a chance in a 5-3-2 when he's been playing that well for Bayer Leverkusen this season. But he doesn't really seem to get challenged by the press too much, I don't think, after these sort of games. So it'll be interesting to see what his comments are after this. But I think it'll be more along the lines of proud of the players for their performance tonight rather than criticising them like he did after Scotland.
Yes.
I think this comment is a good one, and I think I know the answer. Who would you say is the most important player? Justin thinks it's Virgil van Dijk. I think it's Frankie. But if you're going to go far in the Euros, far in that tournament, I think Frankie de Jong is the player to have in your team.
If Van Dijk is injured for some reason, we have so many defenders. We have so many world-class defenders. I know he's the leader, but we still have many world-class defenders. But if Frankie is injured, this is a problem. We don't have a replacement, really. And we saw how much we needed him in the past two friendlies,
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that he gets such harsh criticism for his play for Barcelona, but I think in the Netherlands, you can't take him out and expect to be the same side. I think that he really gels the team together, and he's a must-have at the Euros if Netherlands going to win it. But I'd also say Memphis up front is key. I think that he brings a lot of quality. You saw it tonight, the battling, the tricks, the little flicks, everything that he brings. You don't get that when you play other strikers. I mean, when you look at the difference between, say, a Cody Gakpo and a Memphis, it's huge, I think, in terms of influence on this team. So yeah, the main spine of it is Van Dijk, Frankie, and Memphis. Those are the three players that you really hope stay fit between now and the tournament starting.
Yes, I agree.
Any other takeaways from this evening? And on the whole, still looking at quite positively?
Mike?
Yeah, I think that it's a positive because, we discussed it, I think maybe during the previous show, the injured 11 that Netherlands have at the moment being strong. And those players could be back for the Euros, so that gives you a lot of excitement. But I guess, you're looking at a 23-man squad for the Euros, and do you trust Koeman to make the right decisions on leaving certain players out? That's one area that I would be a bit hesitant at the moment, because if he's bringing players like De Roon, Blind, Wijnaldum, then who's getting left out? And that would be the big worry for me. And Weghorst as well, when you could be then leaving out somebody like a Brobbey or a Frimpong, because this team needs pace. You saw it in the last 20 minutes of the game. When you take off Memphis, Mallon, you have absolutely Dumfries defending. You have absolutely nothing going forward and pace-wise. So you need fast players in this game. So you really need to start dropping the older, slower players and getting fast ones in there, because it does really make an impact on the side. And it will make a big difference at the Euros if they have them in there.
Well, as I mentioned in the previous live stream, we have like maybe 6 or 5 very good midfielders, and Koeman will have to drop one of them to choose Wijnaldum. About the left back, we have Hartman, we have Madsen. Actually, I still regret, Koeman not selecting him. He could have played there today if he was selected instead of Blind. So we do have Hartman, we do have Madsen. Nathan Ake can play there, even if I agree with you, Michael. I don't like to see him in that position, but if we have to, I think he can play in that position. So why would you choose Blind? There are so many things that I'm not really sure of yet, but the injuries, his excuse might be the injuries. So many injured players for these friendlies.
Yeah, I'd like to see, as if I'd love to see Blintz around the squad a lot, but I would like to see him in the squad, but not as a starter. And if he is someone that, I don't know, comes on in a quarterfinal with 20 minutes to go to see a game out, if he comes on because Hartman is injured early on in the game, you can kind of trust him to come in and do a job and to have his experience and do something there. But you've got to leave out someone like Wijnaldum after that Scotland game. De Roon, like the guy, don't know about the football player. We've got so many of the midfielders now. We don't really need him to come in and kick a few players' legs. We need people that can play. And you've got the choice of Schouten, Veerman. I mean, Schouten's playing a deep role for PSV. He can do that easily for the Netherlands. It shouldn't even be needed. But yeah, with that video we did Abdul a while ago now of the players we take to the Euros, I don't think many of them have changed a lot. But I do think that even though Robbie didn't play over these 2 international games, like he is still high up on my list, on my estimations, that he will come and do something great at this Euros. He can keep up his form, and I've got confidence that he will. Then we've got those 2 friendly games in June. I suspect he will be called up again, and then he can prove himself.
Well, of course, let's not forget that we're supposed to have no injuries. All the players should be back by June, unless we have something surprisingly bad happens. Even Timber could be back, actually, because, it was estimated for him to come back on April. So he can play like 7 or 8 matches in the Premier League, and then he can be ready for Oranje as well. So we will have so many options, and that will be good. I think things will completely change by June and the next 2 friendlies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else, Mike?
I think overall, looking back on this international period, it's actually been quite a bad one for the Netherlands. I think that Netherlands under 17s failed to qualify for the Euros, lost twice, drew 1. Netherlands under 19s lost twice, failed to qualify for the Euros. Netherlands under 21s looked terrible in a loss against Norway, and then only beat a very, very bad Moldova side 3-0. And then you've got these 2 Netherlands against under 18s also lost 2 of their 3 games as well. So overall, not the best in the national period for Netherlands. But I still think that it's an exciting time for the Euros. I think we have a strong main side, and I think that the fact that the under-19s is where the strongest youngsters are, they can all move up to under-21s and improve them. So I think there is good things coming for Netherlands in the future. It's just that we just need to get coaching right and tactics right, because I think at the KNVB right now, the youth coaching system isn't the best, and that's causing them to miss tournaments. So I think Nigel de Jong has a job on his hands back at house to get that right. And then we'll see what he does in the summer if the Euros don't go too right with Koeman. But yeah, I think that overall, not the greatest international period for Netherlands overall.
Okay. Let's have a final look at the comments, shall we? We've got Jacob, who commented in saying, solid game today. Come away feeling more confident in our players, but not our manager. I believe it does not matter who we have out there as long as Blint is playing left back. We are compromised. Stefan says, if we can't press, we can't win. Chris brought up the fact that Botman will be the only player confirmed out at the moment. Another comment about the pitch being quite bad tonight. Do either of you want to just talk quickly about the pitch? What you thought about it?
We cannot really. I couldn't say the pitch was bad. Yeah. I'm not sure really. I wasn't sure about that. I don't know if Michael or if Mike noticed something.
Yeah, I think that there's a few Bobby moments. I think that Reinders, his chance in the second half, I think the pitch didn't help him because it bobbled a little bit. Some players were slipping over constantly. Like Timber's first touch on the ball, it was him falling over. But I think it actually affected Germany more. There was that chance where Musiala was actually through on goal, and then he just fell over. So yeah, you can blame a pitch to say it's terrible, but it affects both teams, and it affected both teams tonight. So you can't really say it really affected Netherlands when Germany were hurt just by as much as it. And you don't really expect that from a nation that's meant to be hosting the Euros this summer, and you hope that by the time that the tournament actually gets underway, they'll improve on that. But they will, because Germany's stadiums, Germany's pitches are usually very good. So I think it's just one blip.
Yeah.
I have this news flash. Holland, France, Austria, Poland in Euro. Poland just beat Wales in shootouts, in penalty shootouts. So Poland is going to be the fourth team in the group.
And so I think that's the toughest team out of those four that were going to come through. It's going to be a difficult game now. It's going to be a tight one. It was going to be a tight one with Wales, I suspect, but Poland are going to give that a test, I think.
It's not going to be an easy group, but I think we can manage to qualify. We can manage to beat France if we play well, really.
Also, some interesting comments from Koeman tonight. He is trying to get other managers to lobby against UEFA and increase the size of the squads from 23 players. So
won't get that changed now, though, surely.
It's worked before. I mean, there's tournaments before where they've actually increased the player size due to injuries towards the end of the season.
Wow.
So we'll see if that actually happens. I think that he says that Nagelsmann as well said to him that he wants to increase it past 23 players, but we'll see if that happens. But to me, that just screams that he's not made his mind up on maybe 3, 4, 5 players that you'd like to have in the squad, but the squad size is probably going to keep it down. So I think that's quite an interesting little thing from him, that he's trying to get it extended to maybe 26, 27.
Well, since the end of the World Cup, we were hoping that players like Blind, De Roon, Weghorst will not be selected for Oranje anymore. So this is still our problem. And I wonder what Koeman will do when Brobbey is back and we have full attackers. Who will he choose Weghorst instead of? He has to drop one of the big guys, one of the good players actually, to choose Weghorst if he insists on Weghorst. That's also a problem. This is one of the few things I don't really trust Koeman with.
I don't actually mind a bit of Weghorst. Sorry, but I know it means Brobbey's position is that he's behind Weghorst in the pecking order. That's not right for me. And I hope Robbie will get picked ahead of him. But let's see. There were a couple more that came in on the comments. I don't know if there's a spot in the squad for your cat, Abdul, but definitely wearing the kit.
Yeah.
I think that was basically it. But someone did comment on one of our regulars and said, like, shall I book us 4 tickets? Go and watch the Friends for the Euros. That's incredibly kind. Don't feel like he's going that far, of course. That's very kind.
That's nice of you. Yep. If he does that, I will invite you all for dinner when we meet there. The dinner is on me.
Oh, on offer.
Yeah.
Go for an Indonesian. Fantastic, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right, I think that was everyone. Thank you very much anyway for giving in your live comments and any comments that you put down below on YouTube. Before you do go, give us a like on YouTube. Help support what we do over on YouTube. But of course, lots more on the website. Mike's player ratings, as usual, will be up very shortly. I don't know that much else to talk about, touch base on this evening, other than we have got more content before the end of the season. Someone was upset that, of course, the next fixture will be in June. Of course they are, but lots of build-up from us ahead of the Euros, like a tournament build-up. We'll do an in general preview of the tournament. We did this a few years ago, actually. It went down really well with people. We also did like a group preview as well. So we'll do both of those things over the coming, say, 2 months to get ready for the tournament. And then as we get down to the business games themselves, we'll do previews, live streams afterwards, and lots more before the end of the Eredivisie season as well, for sure. So, of course, subscribe if you're new to Football-Oranje over on YouTube. Go and check out the website and go and see what we're up to on X as well. Thanks, Abdul. Thanks, Mike. Anything else before we go? Just put some lovely comments on the screen.
No, I agree. Let's go win the Euros.
Yes.
Enough said.
Go win the Euros.
Thanks all for your comments. And yeah, more from us soon. But bye for now.